All right, still keeping it here. Let's pivot to the money market and the fixed income market. Joining us to unpack what's playing out there, we have Mr. Chuka Nwachukwu, who is a group head, balance sheet management, UBA. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Larry. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So, how did the fixed income market, perform last week, and what do you see, play out this week?
Thank you very much. Fixed income market has been active. It's been mixed actually between last week and this week. Today actually, we've seen mixed sentiment. Last week it was bullish due to liquidity in the system, but then towards the end of the week we saw a bearish sentiment, and that was after the auction, NTB auction, which CBN offered, DMO offered well over 400 billion. The stop rate for the 1 year was maintained at 19.63. Though there's been some interest in the market as regard the 1 year, but again, the bearish sentiment we've seen so far is as a result of most investors preference for OMO. We saw OMO rates, move up to about 21, 22, 22.5, and that obviously is where the interest for now is.
Right, definitely. Investors want what they want at this point. So we're expecting inflation numbers. That's for April. It's inflation reporting season all over again. What are you seeing, coming? We'll get that information on Thursday. And how do you see it driving sentiment this week?
Yeah, the last inflation figure move up by about 105 basis points. Move up from 23.1 to 24.23. That also has an effect in the market. We've seen that market kind of like reacted to the inflation figure, and that's why we've seen a bit of activity, or much improved activity on the fixed income side. So this for April inflation, which, like you rightly mentioned, will be out on Thursday, we expect to see moderate increase in inflation. Because I feel that some of the factors that affected the inflation figures for March is still very much around. So this will really affect the figures that we see, but then not as much. Maybe moderate between 50 to 100 basis points increase in inflation.
Yeah, definitely. I can't let you go without talking about the Naira. We did see weakness last week. Talk to me about, what you're seeing for the Naira this week. We're seeing the oil market, some kind of recovery, happening there. Do you think that's, bullish for the Naira at this point?
Yeah, so the Naira has performed, credibly well between last week and then, of course, this week. We've seen stability around 1,500. That is about 1,500 levels. Of course, that oil prices has actually, been very down due to the tariff war, and then, of course, for us in Nigeria, we're not really enjoying that because we are not producing as much as we should produce. So, but then, in as much as these factors, the demand is quite huge, still in the system. We've seen that over the past 2-3 weeks, CBN has been intervening heavily, and that has actually dampened the depreciation on the Naira. So we've seen it, within that 1,500. For this week, we still see CBN continue to intervene. We still see that the Naira will still within that 1,600 levels. And so for me, I think that what CBN is doing is actually trying to help, pushing the test of demand. And then as long as they continue like this, we still see the Naira hovered within these levels.
All right, definitely we'll keep our eyes on, what plays out with the Naira. We're also expecting decision from the central, that's the MPC of the central bank later this month. We'll see how all of that drives sentiment in this May. Thank you so much. That was Mr. Chuka Nwachukwu, who's the group head, balance sheet management, UBA. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Ladi. Thank you. Bye-bye.